everybody, and welcome to our event, Doing an Internship Abroad, a Life-Changing Experience, the first initiative of ITL Group, ITL alumni, created for our 25th anniversary. And thank you everybody to be here. Let me introduce myself and explain today's event. My name is Irene Pepe, and I have been the ITL Group Communications and Marketing Manager since January. Let me introduce also to Brunilda Ciuscu. She is our event moderator and also an excellent intern at ITL Marketing. Today, we are going to talk about the importance of teamwork, intercultural relationship, and internationalization. And the special guest will be Viviana Premazzi, PhD, founder of the Global Mindset Development, GMD Malta. She is an expert in intercultural management and international mobility, who will provide us with a toolbox to talk about the professional impact of the work experiences abroad. So how does this event work? Obviously, I will ask Alessandro Farina to be the first to take the floor and to welcome our guests. After his welcome, Viviana Premazzi will show us some research outputs to give us an informed framework for the discussion. After her talk, I will give the microphone to Ligino Bottega, who is here, Sheila Morriconi and Claudia Leporatti, and in this order, to join the conversation. And we also have the honor to listen 6 of our former interns, which I'm really excited because I've never had the pleasure to meet them, and now grown-up professionals to share their experiences. Cesare Occhioni, Gianni Verlato, Angelo Scarpa, Enrico Beltrame, Mirko Podda, and Giacomo Arrigo, and Giacomo Romeo, sorry, and especially Giacomo, so I want to excuse me because of this mistake. So once again, thank you all for joining us today, and feel free to contact me or Brunilda in the chat for technical issues and for taking the floor. So now, please mute your microphone when you listen and turn them on when you speak, of course. And Alessandro, it's all your turn.
Ciao ragazzi! Mamma mia, che bello!
Claudia,
che bello! You know, when Irene asked me to, let's say, and propose the idea of doing this alumni, okay, that I thought, wow, okay, so it's like a jump back in memories to see how long time has gone and what happened. Because, you know, usually you build memories through events, through people, through a lot of these situations. And so we started, you know, on LinkedIn to search who was here, who was there. And God's sake, I have to say, I forgot some of them. And I say, oh, look at this one, look at that one. And also to see what happened in between. Which one of you stayed in Budapest, which are somewhere else in the world, different positions, people who set up family, kids. I mean, life is going and changing. And so we started to find out some 50 people that have crossed our, let's say, common roots. And I say from now on, we have really to build something, let's call it, I don't want to say a community, but a group of, let's say, people who share the common emotions. And you know very well that some of you worked with Sheila in finance, some other with Claudia as a journalist or as in marketing, with Luis always, let's say, next to me. So heavy, exactly. And meanwhile, you know, ITL next week on the 12th is going to be 25 years old. So it's a silver wedding anniversary, let's say. A quarter is done. And it's nice to build and to be back also where we started from, and to see what we left in the memories of people, and to improve also what we are doing for the future, of course. And therefore, we want to structure it a little bit more and involve you also in and share with you basically what we have done and what we will do. Because now this year, because of the 25th anniversary, it's a very, let's say, active year, despite COVID and all the difficulties that we have. But it's also a way and a moment in which we discover that online we can still achieve, let's say, contact and with most of you, probably 6 months ago we would have thought, or 9 months ago, whenever it was, differently. Okay, we would have said, oh, we have to invite them all, we have to take a room in an hotel or whatever, build a coffee break or whatever to invite them. But now it's okay, it's much easier. Okay, so
now you can save some money.
Yes.
Alessandro.
So we will basically, I'm curious now to listen also, because it's good to listen also what happened to all of you. And I'm here, I'm really emotional and pleased to see all of you. And I give back the word to Irene, or yes, who will go on. And thank you guys, you made my day today. Thank you.
And the night also.
And the night, yes. By the way, as you know, okay, we have a kind of natural deadline of the event that is given by the, let's say, police timeout that we have in Budapest. So by 8 o'clock, we have to be all in our homes, at least here. So it means that by max 7:30, we will have whatever happens to say, hasta la vista.
At the bottom, no? Viene to
yes. Okay, so Irene, I give you back the floor, and thank you guys.
So now, without further hesitation, let me introduce you to today's main speaker, Viviana Premazzi, founder of Global Mindset Development. Please, Viviana, turn on your microphone and share your knowledge with us. Brunilda will take care of collecting any kind of questions from all of you. Thank you.
I'm really happy to be here. My name is Viviana Premazzi. I was an ex-colleague of Irene. Like, we met in Torino like many years ago, and then we met again in Malta, working for the same company, and then now here we are. So, and in Malta, I also started my company that is called Global Mindset Development, and we do intercultural management and training for consultancy and services for companies. This is like a little bit of my background and what led me to start this this business. My background is international mobility. My PhD is in sociology of migration. And then in Malta, I found the right place, let's say the right time, to transform all my knowledge and my background and do a company that was able to help other companies who has a multicultural team. So working internally with the cultural diversity, and also externally to reach international clients or to open and explore different countries for their export, or for starting like a new businesses, or open up branches in different countries. But here the core of the presentation. So the next slide. And I'm really happy for what Alessandro said and showed at the beginning. That was actually also the start of my presentation. So when you do an experience, and especially if you do an experience abroad, it's something that is life-changing, and you connect also on a deeper level. And then you remind this experience. And so even years, and especially when you are about going close to an anniversary, like for ITL, like 25 years old, you start think about your history and the people you met through your journey. So I'm using here an email that the founder of Netflix sent in 2015. So when Netflix was exploding at the international level and start opening up different countries, he sent this email to Erin Meyer. And Erin Meyer is the author of The Cultural Map and a professor at the business school INSEAD in Paris. And she now one of the most important scholars on intercultural management. But the way the founder of Netflix really connected with Erin was that they shared the same experience of being in the Peace Corps. So they both did an international experience in the 80s, Reed, and in the 90s, Erin. And so he connected to her on this ground, on this common ground. He thought that that experience was so important to him, and probably so important to her, that they were able to like be connected, just mention that experience. And then he also mentioned about the book, The Culture Map, and that everyone in Netflix, they were reading this book to also become cultural competent and cultural aware of all the differences. And this is also the approach that Netflix is now using in all the markets. They go and they start like to set up their business and their offices. So from this, that I think is one of the most important points, and I think that all of you can share, that in a way or another it was a life-changing experience, or was an important moment in your life. It is also something that companies all over the world recognize as experiences that give you soft skill and global skills. I would also add that it's not only soft skills, so we'll discuss about soft skills later, but also some hard skills, and the first one is language. So the more you are able to do an international experience and learn the language, if you start from like the Erasmus or the Intercultura year, the problem or the issue, what the challenge is, try not to stay only in your comfort zone with all the Italians or the Spanish, if you are in Edinburgh, or if you are in Glasgow, or if you are in the Netherlands, but mix and try to learn English if that was the objective of your Erasmus, of your internship. So hard skills and soft skills, and they are now recognized and requested by the companies. Then we know also that not in all the country this match happen. And so this is why it's really important to like recognize the skills and also be able to present the skills to the global market. And this is also something that you can learn in an international experience, because if you go on some LinkedIn profiles, you can really see also the differences and the different way a person from the US present himself or herself, and the way a person from Europe present themselves. In one country and culture, facts and numbers are more important. In other countries and cultures is more the history of the person, what got you to the point you are today. So the more you become aware of the cultural differences and the differences in your skills and the way you can present your skills, the more also I think this can be another way of facilitating this match between you and the job you're looking for or the global market. Then if you have Instagram, now I will ask you to go on our profile, GMD_Malta, and take the poll that we just posted there. And one is about if you already have done an experience abroad, what did you get? And if you haven't, what do you think you will get? And then maybe I will check before the end of the presentation your replies. Because we also did an exercise similar to this a few weeks ago with some schools. And what we found, it confirms some of the results also of like survey and research. Maybe you are not we are thinking about the future, but for people that are at school or younger, maybe they are also thinking to their future in a different way. But for all of us, when the future also, maybe we can consider in our future and experience abroad, there are like dreams and expectations for all our future, and the idea that we have about the future. We have dreams and we have expectations. And sometimes we have also the expectation of our parents, the expectations of our community, the expectation of a society. And in some countries and culture, this is stronger than in other countries. There is your dream of become an artist, and then there is your parents' expectation that are you to become a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, because from your culture and community, these professions are like better and well recognized, and they give you a status. And this is the second point. There is a status and there is a self-awareness. What do you like, and what you like to do, and what you are able to do, and what you are good at, and what are something that you actually want to do only because you know if you get the job, you will get the status. Because this is also something that then can play in your like frustration and how happy you will be in your future career. Now we know all the opportunity that the online world can offer, but also there is some, I think COVID also helped us to rediscover our local dimension and what there is at our local level. We are forced to be local and to stay local. And so they can be opportunities online and offline and mixing them, and here or somewhere else, so going abroad. the last point, and I'm happy that will be someone else like later today that will like elaborate on this, is maybe the job that you will do doesn't exist yet today and you will invent it. When I started global mindset development, I have my idea and it's something that in a way already exists, but I did many things that they didn't exist before. And I created my own job and my own way of like working on in this field and on these topics. Then what are actually the fears when you want to start an experience and you go for an experience abroad? And maybe these are the same fears that also you had in your first experience or before moving to Budapest. Some are economic issues. And on this, we are also lucky to be in the European Union because European Union still has a lot of funds for international mobility. The Erasmus program was one of the most successful programs of the European Union. And still it is, and not only for students, but also for professional and for sharing experiences and best practices. You are afraid of not speaking the language, but this is exactly why you're moving to learn the language, and you can prepare before moving. You can study, you can watch movies, you can read books, and also while you are in the new country, you can take courses for that language. Culture and the cultural shocks that you may found, and I remember Irene told me some of the recent like interns that were at ITL, they found this cultural shock at the beginning, like moving to Hungary. Maybe they were from like Italy. We are really Mediterranean. We like to touch people. We like to smile, and it's different, of course. And so you have to understand their cultural traits, maybe adapt, and maybe find your way of adjustment. But I think this is great because what you gain is the cultural awareness. You know what is important for you. You know that this is part of your culture and this is something that you're looking for. You're looking for people that touch you every day, every time they see you, because this is the way they show. Nowadays, we cannot due to COVID, but maybe this is something that is important for you. You cannot live in a country where they don't smile, or you cannot live in a country where they don't go out and have a drink and chat after work. So they're all things that you realize about yourself. Missing friends and family, this is one of the strong thing. While I recommend an experience abroad, you gain friends and family. And your friends, when you are abroad, you make friends in a way that they're actually your family, because you don't have there the social support that you have in your country, in your city, in your community. So they become your family. And this was extremely evident during COVID, that the people that they didn't have like mental challenges and they didn't feel like lonely when abroad during the first lockdown, they were the people that were able to build this social support in their life abroad. So kind of had their family there, had the people that were able to support them, like psychologically, socially, and even economically, if needed. The pandemic is, we know and we all hope it will be over, or there will be the vaccine, and so we will maybe get back to what we had before. And then it was funny, because some say also in the survey that we recently did, many say nothing. So if you don't have fear, set up a date. So transform your dream in a plan, because if you don't have a plan, things also, they cannot happen. It's not that they can happen by themselves. You have to work on it. And so if there's nothing, if you don't have any fear, set a date and start working. The language, the culture, the place, exploring. And going to the end of my presentation, of course, for me, one of the most important things that you gain from the experience abroad is that you change your perspective, and you become more aware of yourself and the others. And I took this a few days ago. I was in a meeting in South Africa and they shared this. And I think there is for any country, but it's a way like the Americans see South Africans, so only living with the lions, the way the rest of the world see South Africa, so just like living in villages, or how the tourists see South Africa. But when you live in another country, when you work in another country, you really gain a different perspective, and also the perspective that show you the complexity. There are things that you will like, there are things that you will not like, there are things that you will then adopt for yourself, there are things that you will recognize as important value for yourself that you cannot give up in any way and in any place. And this is really a great value of an experience abroad. So just to close, and then there will be time for like comments and questions if you have, what will you gain? And we took this, that was from the World Economic Forum, because this was just a confirmation. So the top 10 skills of 2025 were actually a confirmation of what you gain through an experience abroad. And I mentioned before, I think that language is not a soft skill, but it is not only what I think, but it's an hard skill. So for sure you will gain like language skills, but also cultural skills that nowadays are extremely important, even if you work in your own country, because maybe you will have colleagues from a different countries, or you work in a company who work in internationalization or import-export. So you will have to do with people from other countries. And I also work to support companies in internationalization. And sometimes I tell them to start from the local market, because they have Chinese communities, Nepalese community, Indian communities in their countries. So maybe they can also test their product with them and help them to be this bridge between them and China or them and India. And this is something that you gain also through an experience abroad. The problem solving skills. You are there alone, you cannot call mom to solve, or your brother or your cousin. So you develop problem solving skills. And again, this was evident during COVID. I did a series during COVID and was far from home, a talk with a friend abroad. Also, Irene was one of my guests. And what we found was there were more than 40 interviews, and the problem solving skills was one of the skills, together with resilience and adaptability. The ideas of someone who had already worked abroad was, yeah, you know, like COVID, yeah, is a big deal because it's global, because I cannot like travel, I cannot see my family. But in my experiences abroad, I have been already through many things, and I know I can manage, I can solve it, I can adapt, I can be resilient. And these are all what you gain from experience abroad, together with also the ability to work in team, and in most of the cases work with intercultural team. So people that are different than you, people that are like different challenges, or even people from the same country, but then abroad, they show maybe more of their vulnerabilities because you are all there together, but far from home. And so you need each other, but maybe you don't want to see your vulnerabilities. So you develop skills to work in team in this case, not in a safe and comfort zone, but in a challenging phase of your life or place. And then the last point that I mentioned, that I really believe it, and I believe that they are also extremely useful if you can use them then also in your professional life, the friends that they become your families abroad. And in my case, most of my job with global mindset development is thanks to the friends that I made through all my international experiences, because I'm doing now speaking club with a friend of mine that I met in Erasmus, and she has a language school in Edinburgh. I'm doing this with Irene that I met in another international experience. I did something on like Indians living in Norway, because I had another friend that I met in Erasmus and is living there. So and we all know this today, but I think it's always good to remind us our relationships are also our value, and through our relationships we can really enhance our professional and personal life, and the experiences abroad really opening up new opportunities for your personal life. You can travel and you have like a friend in any country, and professionally, because then your friends abroad are in different companies doing different things, and maybe you can collaborate and you can easily develop developing project together. So thank you. This is like some things I wanted to share with you today. And I'm really glad to be here and looking forward to hearing your stories and experiences. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Viviana. It was really interesting. And I have a question, if you don't mind, and then I hope that other people will join the chat. You just said relationship. So how does it work with that? So in your experience, have you talked with people that due to their relationship didn't want to travel, or the opposite, that didn't want to come back because they started a new relationship?
Yeah, I think they also think about, like, one of the results of Erasmus are the Erasmus families. So people that actually they meet in Erasmus and they become an international, intercultural family. So for sure this happened. Last week when we did the survey with the schools, one of the answer was the fear if that I cannot like leave my boyfriend and my girlfriend. And actually our suggestion is there's need to be like trust, but you can leave, because what you will gain, of course, is also good if you can do this together. And there are a couple that they decided to go together and do the experience abroad, but also, and you know, Irene, I'm in a long distance relationship for 10 years, and we have, both of us individually, we have done like many experiences together, and they were rich in our couple. So every time then we were together, we were so like rich by all these international experiences, and the way we discuss and the deep level we connect thanks to all our experiences, really enriching also our life together. Now for this second lockdown, we are actually living together for the first time for this long time, and it is also super nice. But my suggestion is if there is an experience, you should take it, especially if you are like young, and because what you will gain, and if a person love you, she or he will support you and let's say live with you the experience you are living.
Thank you so much, Viviana. I have a question too. I would like to ask you, how can all the trainees help the youngest trainees to make their experience work and worthy, and help each other?
I think that is something extremely important, and also in some companies, even if they are not trainees, it's always good to have a mentor, or to have like what is called like a buddy system, because that is the best way. Someone who has already had the experience, someone who has already gone through that and can guide you, and can also tell you that it's normal what you feel, it's normal that you are frustrated, it's normal that you are angry, it's normal that you expected something and actually you're finding something different. Because sometimes the expectations also from experience abroad, they are so high that then you don't want to be disappointed. And if you are disappointed, you think that you're wrong, and there's something in you that is not good, that you are not doing the right way. So the frustration actually is higher. But if you have someone that can like guide you and transform everything in a normal experience and be with you and share with you, I think that is it will help a lot.
Thank you so much. If someone else
Alessandro wanted to
yes.
Yeah. No, just for you to, Viviana, to know, I mean, myself also, I started with like an alumni, because I started with the stage in '92 here in Budapest in an English consulting company. And at that time, by looking your prejudice and new perspectives about how people see South Africa, at that time, Central Eastern Europe was Central Eastern Europe. So in the early 90s, I was, Budapest was Trabant, was Wartburg, was a completely different country than today. But the experience was amazing. And as you see, I'm still here. So it was a changing experience, a changing life, definitely. So, I mean, I am a big fan of this kind of experiences, because each one of us can then try out all his skills and curiosity, especially, because you can gain a lot from that.
So now I will leave the floor to Ligino, who is going to talk up with us about how do we want to become. And so,
Really?
yes.
Yes. Yeah. Or first of all, let me watch this amazing panorama about this whole amazing face. You are beautiful. Sorry, but I need to say, emotionally, it's cool.
He was not speaking to you, Angelo. The others.
Thank you for being here. Absolutely. Okay. yesterday, Irene asked me, what do you want to, which kind of topic do you want to talk? And I say, oh, let's think about a good phrase that typically I like to, to ask to the new intern when they arrive, not to make a test, if they have a real clear vision about their future, and it's not which kind of experience do you have, from which school you come, but which person you want to become, and it's a very strong question, because really sometimes we are so inside the typical structure of the rules, the society, of the work, of the activities, that we don't think sometimes really who we want to become, in which way I want to canalize my life energy for the future. We are sometimes, we started with some kind of study, and we continue to go in the direction that we already start in this area, and we follow opportunities when they come, but sometimes really we are not aware really which direction, the goal, and this come maybe with time, maybe with exchanging idea with others, with some moment of to be inspired, with other person. I just heard from our friends this speech now, that a lot of very good words. I just brought down, what is the word aware, very important. Several times I heard fear, I heard this word, that especially in some uncertain moment of our life, there is a fear, that because it's something that is a feeling that come from don't know the future, maybe who knows which kind of future, we are not able sometimes to be very in the moment, in the now. We are not able to be sometimes to be very connected with the joy of the grateful of our life, the simple things, and we are afraid, what's happened with this and that, my career, my relation, sometimes this word, this feeling come in our mind, aware, fear. Another good word, project and goals. We need to have a project and goal in the life, because of course the pole star, that give us the direction, okay, the big purpose, the big important goal that we need to achieve in our life is very, very important, because we can guide, our destiny in this direction. Super important. Another good word, keyword, values. Yes, because any kind of our action, every kind of beliefs, how we react in the daily life, is come from our beliefs that is based in our values. Our values are super important, and especially today, especially in our activities, if we do everything with based in some value, but how many time we spend to analyze ourselves, which kind of which kind of value are very important for us in this moment, inside. Means let's also use this keyword to think, a good keyword to think of who I want to become. And after, okay, another keyword, experience abroad, experience every day, and the relation, very, very important, because we are all connected. We are connected in the family of the company, okay, but also, of course, we are all connected also outside. In every moment, what we do make consequences of the life of the others. Means relations are important. We need to analyze our relation and the quality of the relation with the people that surround us, especially because we become the average of the 5 persons that we spend more time. Means it's important to understand which kind of relation we have. And after, other good keywords are skills. Yes, skills, because strategy and tactics in our life is very important. Because if we want to achieve some result, we want to create destiny, we need to have, of course, a plan, and we need to have a strategy to guide our action day by day in the direction of our goal. Means strategy and tactics, how we move in our life. And of course, not easy, because every day there is challenge, and we need to be resilient. No? Other two very good keywords that I just heard: resilience, never give up, because of course, only to put ourselves day by day outside of our comfort zone, and like in the gym, no, we need to little bit to put this little more effort every day to become better and better and grow in this challenge that is our life. Means, yes, everything comes from define what means for us success. We need to think. For me, if in 10 years I can say to myself, yes, I'm successful, what is for me success? Let's think about this, because really understand this, that create our purpose of life is very important. And if you need some inspiring thought, here is a very good book I just found. Is this book. I don't know if it's super cool. I don't know why, but I found this book is, the title is How to Win the Game of Life. Unbelievable. And really, I was so inspired to see this book, and also to write. But okay, let's see. Think about, that there is some inspirational thought inside, and really, your life is your hands. Only you can win or lose the game of your life. Okay, was good, Alessandro.
Perfetto. So this guy that he's Mr. Party Man, okay? Could you ever imagine that in his life he would come out in writing such a heavy book, okay? Full of wisdom, but at the same time, there is also a lot of creativity, because there are a lot of, let's say, designs and QR codes and stuff. So he was really working for 3 years on this book. So he realized one of his dreams, that in the life of every person, there should be writing a book and some other few things. So he did it.
Yeah, but you made the best one. You have a good child, very, very successful,
Yeah, exactly.
Fishing and golf,
Exactly.
So you made your purpose,
Family, yeah, sure. But you are still young, you can do the rest.
Yes, not easy, keyword, relations, not easy to find the right relation.
Not easy. Thank you, Luis.
And now it's time for Sheila to tell us what she prefers. She wanted to talk about why traineeships are good for a company, but I think also she wants to welcome you, as she was with you all this time.
Yes, first of all, I wanted to thanks the ITL Marketing for this great idea, because I've been working with a lot of you and others that are not here today, but I hope they will come also next time. And it's just great to see you, and I'm waiting to hear from you, because a lot of years passed, and all of you did great experience. I follow some of you on Facebook, so I know a few things about you. So it's great. It's great this initiative. It's a great idea, I think. So after this, what I want to do, I wanted to talk. I want to change a little bit the point of view, because we, of course, always or very often talk about trainees. So how is their experience? How this helped them to enter in the job market and so forth. But I want to talk about the opposite thing. So is this experience good for the company, and why it's good for the company? Because from my point of view, now being a trainer, okay, so a trainer just start thinking, oh my God, is arriving the trainees, the trainee, there'll be a lot of work. I have to explain everything, and it's staying only a few months, and then I have to start everything again. But then what I experienced is that who's arriving, it's a very young, motivated, fresh person that is just refreshing for the company. It's like a wave pushing you, because you are like every day you have to deal with your daily work. You are always very busy, and you don't even have time sometimes to think, how can I improve my job? Which are the new instruments or on the market? What other what I'm a controller, so what's Excel new things or so forth. And then for me, it's been great since I'm working with these young people coming, because they had new idea and they helped me to move on also sometimes, and to find new thing that I would never think about it if they did not come. So what I always say to the trainees, I would try to say, is not to be shy, to try to live in the company, to propose, to get down the ideas. They work, they don't work, doesn't matter. But the important is to be part of the company. And to the companies, or when I talk with friends, I always say, the company too have to welcome this person, make it part of the daily life, because from everybody it can always come out some kind of surprise, new idea, and some really great things for the company too. And this was like my personal experience that I learned also time by time with all different trainees, because not everybody is the same. So but it was great, and I hope to keep on doing it. It's going to be a little bit difficult maybe now, Sandro, but who knows what the technology can help us.
You know that Sheila has been involved with several of you, but in the last 5 years, just to make sure that she was experiencing also the opposite, I asked her to follow all the pensioners clients we have. So she went from first generation to the third generation. And now she moved to Vienna recently because family has changed the routes. But still, she is still working with us, and we are still here all together. So, I mean, we have to reinvent the wheel, as very often it happens, and bring some creativity. We will see, Sheila, what 2021 will show from this point of view. But thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for thanking for the initiative.
Yes.
So now I'm really happy to invite Claudia to tell us more about the job that she found in Budapest. And so welcome, Claudia. Please unmute yourself.
First of all, very happy to see all of you. I must say this might be the first and for sure the best Zoom I ever done. No, it's not, sorry, a bit nervous, not the first. But for sure the only one I'm really enjoying, and it's very, very nice to see all of you here. It's an awesome idea, so thank you, Irene, for this. So what I'm talking about, it's about creating a job that doesn't exist, and it's about my experience in ITL. I was gonna say in Budapest because it's almost the same thing. So not all of you know me. So I'm Claudia. I moved to Budapest in 2008. I was supposed to stay for 4 months, and that was 2008 again, so 12 years ago. The reason I am still there is basically ITL. But I did not come because of ITL, so I was not an Erasmus Plus. I did not come here to do an internship. I came as an Erasmus student, so just a normal Erasmus, you know, party and sometimes university. But I had a dream And my dream was to be a journalist and to be a journalist abroad. I cannot tell you that that was my expectation from the Erasmus, because it was not. Basically, I had this proposal: you can go to Budapest and you have 12 hours to decide. I asked advice to my father. My father is a man of a very few words. Unfortunately, I'm not like him. And he answered, if you say no, you will regret it. So the morning after, I called, I said, okay, I'm going to Budapest. I came here, I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea where to go. I had a reservation for a bed and breakfast for 3 nights. And that place was in Váci Pont. So I went to that address. And this is very ironic. I'm not sure I ever shared this story before, because I went right in front of ITL Group. And I couldn't find this bed and breakfast anywhere. There were some nice guys on the street. They looked like, I don't know, bank workers or something like that. Remember, I was 20 at the time. And I looked like I had 3 big baggages, was dressed like not a homeless person, but nearby, close by. So anyways, I asked them for help. They took out something I didn't know about, very, very advanced. It was an iPhone. And they looked up that place, which was in Váci Út. So you're all been in Budapest, maybe not Viviana, but you know, it's a big difference between Út and Utca. And Váci Út is this long, and Váci Utca is like this, and they're not close to each other. So I had to go to this other place. So a couple of months later, I discovered that the place where I went randomly was ITL Group, where I was going to work for 10 years. So to go back to the topic after the introduction, I don't believe much in destiny. I know luck exists, but to a certain extent. Sorry. So I think this story has a little bit to do with both, because I had this passion, which was a passion for writing, but I wanted to make a living out of it. And in Italy, that was, and still not is, really, really possible. So when I came to Budapest, I went to the university first, and there somebody gave me a phone number, which was the phone number of Ugo Busatti, who is not between us today, but has to do a lot with the history of ITL Group too. And he used to be a journalist in Italy. So I had this phone number. This professor told me, call this friend of mine. He is a journalist. He will help you to find a job in Budapest. I went home and I was all nervous, like you see I am even now talking. And I was like, should I call? Should I not? I looked it up on the internet. He had worked for the Sole 24 Ore, which is a big magazine in Italy. So I was like, oof, I cannot talk to him. But finally I found the brave. I called him and he invited me for a coffee. And I went to ITL for the very first time. And that was the sparkle of everything, because that day Alessandro saw this girl he never saw before. He came in with a big smile and he offered me to spread my CV around. But then he was like, okay, maybe you could do something here. Come back at 5 p.m. and I will introduce you to the marketing guy. And I left ITL. I can tell you now that was the happiest day in my life, still to this moment. And I'm really honest about it. So excited I could not. And then, and well, that was the beginning of Economia.hu, because, or .hu I should say, because it happened, and here I'm finally reaching some maybe useful point, that my aspirations met their ideas. So they had a project on hold, which was to create a magazine and a channel of communication. Only they didn't have at the moment the person to do it. And Luis, whom words I still remember very well, he told me, like, you have this energy, we need to channel it. And he taught me how to channel it step by step through the years. It was not just that one day. We started Economia.hu from scratch. It was green at the beginning, like ITL. Then it became orange. And at the beginning, it was made by a person who had not studied economy, who did not know anything about Hungary and didn't speak Hungarian.
He was the first blogger, you know. You remember? He was the first blogger, video blogger in from Hungary. No one, no celebrity, nobody was around. And you was the first to create a TV on YouTube, you know, at the time.
I must tell you, these guys, it was not, they created my self-esteem, basically, because I was not a person who could speak in public easily. And they kind of forced me. I say forcing nicely because I have very good relationship with all the people here, to put myself on a video, something which I still have problems with, and to record myself making the broadcast news. And this is what I wanted to say, that in 2008, Economia.hu was a very innovative project, because online magazines were not.
From ambassadors to Rocco, you know, all the range. You make interviews.
Yeah. In my hometown, some people wanted to meet me, like a couple of years ago, not long ago, just because I was the girl who interviewed Rocco Siffredi. So anyways, we ended up making an online magazine, which at the time was quite new thing, a YouTube channel, which also was new. Very hard to make people in Italy understand what I was doing, working in Hungary, making YouTube videos, but that's another story. And with the years, we developed a set of very unique tools, like the database, and Gianni here played a big role in it at the beginning. We ended up making somehow even one of my dreams come true, because we wrote a book, which is the investment guide, Hungary 2014, which Enrico also preciously supported. And I have a list of names that I could mention, because Mirko was an amazing, fantastic colleague. I don't say even that he was making an internship, because it was really like having a colleague. Andrea, Alessio, Giacomo, Luca, but Elisabetta. So sorry if I forget somebody, but those I met. There was also Angelo and Michele, whom I didn't meet because of that. I didn't meet during their internship, but we still somehow became very good friends. Ercole, so. Yeah, I had a lot of other things to say, but I think my time is up. So.
Yes, thank you very much, Claudia. It was really, really nice.
Yes.
And but it's 7, you're right. And so we have 30 minutes to go and 6 more people to hear. So from now on, Brunilda will be the moderator. So I will mute myself.
Hello, everybody, and now it's time to welcome our trainees. I would like to start from Cesare Occhioni. Cesare was a trainee in 2004, and now he's a sales director at Aerobag International SRL. So please, Cesare, could you share with us your experience? You can unmute yourself and thank you.
So thank you very much. First of all, I apologize for being late. I was in the office. It happens. And we are actually having a really bad weather now. So There was a lot of traffic. So first of all, I would like to really thank you, Alessandro Farina, which is now 16 days since we last met. Sorry, 16 years since we last met, and you still looks the same. You really look the same. So I don't know what you do, but you do it good.
Why? Because it is like 16 days. Don't worry. It's the same.
Yeah, it looks like actually thinking about when I got the invitation, you know, thinking that it was 16 years was really uncanny. But anyway, it's nice being here. My internship was pretty quick, but it was really intense, I would say, and I really lived it fully. I still have a lot of contacts from those days. I also have a lot of adventures, but some of them are not disclosed, so I cannot share with you. But the first one is very close to Claudia experience. I was dropped in the middle of a street from a taxi driver who was not really willing to take me to the real address. So at that time, I know it sounds old, but at that time there was no smartphone, nothing. I barely had a map on my hands, and I couldn't understand where to go. So I ended up talking to somebody, but at that time also it was very difficult to find in the street someone who was speaking English. So I'm talking like a very old guy now. So, but 2004 was really different. Really, there was barely the email, and I had a mobile phone which was not really working properly. So it was really difficult, but anyhow, it was really, I think this was the reason why it was also very intense, because I was completely cutting out of my family, my friends, my girlfriend at that time. I mean, we were sharing a few emails from time to time, and maybe a couple of messages, but nothing more than this. So it was really a nice experience. And also professionally, when I came back in Italy, of course, I finished my university, and then I started with the job, which is actually the actual job. So I'm working in this company since 15 years, and I also grew with the company. And I think that the experience I had in Budapest somehow helped me also in my actual job, especially dealing with foreign people. I was used to do this because when I was young, I lived also abroad. But you know, making a professional experience in abroad, out of your native country, it makes the whole difference. It doesn't matter if it's short, long. It doesn't matter. It matters how you live it, and how much you want to take out of this. So my recommendation is always to live it fully. Try to learn as much as possible. This is very important, being very open-minded, and try to learn from everybody. And if they have a different culture or a different origins, as I would say, but you always can learn a lot. And I still learn a lot. I mean, I'm traveling everywhere, not this year, of course, but usually I'm traveling everywhere because of my actual job. And it's really important to keep your mind open wide. And an internship like this one, it's really the best thing that can happen, and the best way to learn how to do this.
Thank you so much, Cesare. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to call on Gianni Verlato. Gianni was a trainee in 2010, and now he's a senior project financial controller at Nokia. Please, could you share your experience with us?
Well, senior project, yeah, it's something that I do, yeah. It's something that I do, and yeah, it's true. I was in internship during 2010 with the Claudia for the database, arriving in Budapest, you know, for a girl, like almost every guy here, I think. Arrived, yeah, in Budapest for my girlfriend, and I heard that they were looking for someone for internship, and I wrote an email to Ugo Busatti, the great Ugo Busatti, and he told me, now we don't have any, we are not looking for anything, but if you come here, we can have a coffee. And the week after, I was already in the office for the coffee, and after 1 month, I was in ITL Group as an intern. I worked before with Hugo for the project for Bagali. It was a big dream, and after a while, Alessandro stole me from this project and put me in the database. I think I'm one of the beginners who work for this database, and I'm very proud for this job. It was a big job. For an internship of 6 months, we arrived to an internship of 8 months. But it was a very big experience for me, because I think that I don't believe that an experience of an internship of 6 months creates some skills, professional skills, you know. I don't believe that, because to create a professional skills, you need years. You have to work a lot in yourself, in everything. In 6 months, you can't create anything, or in particular, when you are a fresh graduate, you go abroad, it's only an experience. But the value for an internship for me was for sure the contacts. When you are abroad, you have to open to receive everything. And in my case, it was the contacts, the right contacts, and to be ready for the next step, my next professional step. With the content that I received from this experience, I'm coming from a very small town in Veneto, in Vicenza. So for me, it was a first experience really abroad in this kind of experience. And from this experience, still now, I'm working with the guys that I knew during this internship. So for me, the value of an internship abroad is that I think is mandatory now for any fresh graduate that finished university now. Is important to have this experience, because the value is only to be open to receive everything. Because if you do an internship for 6 months and after you go back home, it's nothing. It's something that you did and you write your CV and that's all. But when you are abroad, you have to open to listen everything, to understand where is the right river, where you can fish, where is not the right river, who is the right person, who is not the right. For me, that was the big value, the contacts and the networking that I created with years, and for me was the value for everything. Also, still now I'm working with these guys. No way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gianni.
I want to say, Luis is a very good guy, Luis.
but sorry, but I remember that you was also a model.
No, I did something, man. But we can't talk. But, no, you know very well the models, because with your events you are inviting models, but you never invite me.
Oh, really? No, but no, I saw amazing photo about you with some situation. I was, oh, I'm proud of you. Freeze it now.
It's a big fault, man. Yeah. Doing something else, other things, theater, acting, something like that.
Perfect. I would like to introduce you Angelo Scarpa now. He was a trainee in 2011 and now he's accountant in Budapest. Please, can you share with us your experience?
Hello. everybody, and just a short update. I'm working in my hometown since 2 years, but let's say the Hungarian it's just a break from my Hungarian experience, because we are planning to go back in less than 2 years with my wife. And so first of all, yeah, I need to agree with the Cesare that we don't know each other, but yeah, years are running, and Alessandro and Luis are actually in the same shape. And I mean, please share with us your secret, because we are, I mean, I'm losing my hair, and whatever is happening to everyone is
a lot of love for what we do, enthusiasm and love.
Yeah, but also Andre receive a lot of love from the child. Eh?
Yeah.
Congratulations for the family. Congratulations.
Thank you. So yeah, just few words about me and my story. That it's really similar. I mean, I have some feelings similar to Claudia shared before. Because yeah, I arrived in 2011. I didn't know actually anything about the city, because I'd never been there before launching the internship project. But the city was great, because they welcomed me pretty well, and especially the simply great. The Christmas party organized by Alessandro in a pooling place. It was such a great occasion to know much better each other, and to have a kind of icebreaker opportunity, let's say. With I mean, all the opinion that has been sent before are really nice, and I agree everything. I would like to add something about under the, let's say, professional point of view of the company, because it's needed, because if you are establishing a business since 25 years, there is more than one reason, and just this, because the people who is leading the game, like it's an important sentence for Alessandro, who is leading the game is a real leader, because Alessandro is able to manage the company in a great way. I'm still following the company and all the news from economia.hu and all the events that they're organizing, like if I'm there, and everything is still great. During my experience, I was having and supporting a bit Chile in the controllership, and working with Luis for the communication part. But of course, the best part of the project was the launch of the Budapest Business Party. That was the first edition. It's still ongoing, and I'm really glad that I could give my support for this event, that actually in a couple of years became a must professional environment of Budapest. I just wanted to share one sentence, because I remember the first day that I arrived in the company. Alessandro asked me to have just a coffee, and we were sharing our previous experience. I was fresh graduated. I was studying in Bologna, and after I have a short experience actually in the Confindustria Sardinia, because I'm Sardinia actually, and but it wasn't really involving me like what I had in the ITL. And I remember one sentence from Alessandro that was really nice to understand the complex of the company, because as I told me, we are maybe a small company, but we are kind of a jolly joker. We are embracing more than 8 business, and my role is this one: it's to help all the stakeholders inside and outside the company to perform, to have best performance ever, and to bring the result for the company. And this is one of the points that for me is stimulating and inspiring me for the rest of my career. I mean, ITL for me was a slide for the professional my professional career, because after I joined the big corporation world, so I've been working for 2 American companies basically. Now I'm just leading my family business, but every day I'm trying to get in my mind this sentence from Alessandro that was really important and impressive for me. What else? Big thank you to everybody, to Sheila as well, to Luis for all the time that they spent with me, because all the small piece of time that they spent with me when I was 26, as far as I remember, helped me a lot for my next steps. So thank you so much, and Alessandro, keep on going in this way. That you are simply great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angelo. And now I would like to call on Enrico Beltrame. He was a trainee in 2013. Now he's a business developer at Layot. And please, I would like to, first of all, share 2 videos for you. Oh. Yeah. And just a second, I will be able to show you.
If you can show, yeah, because we have only, I have only 5 minutes, so I can also talk directly because.
Okay, perfect. It's as you want.
I wanted to show the video of the Budapest Business Party too, actually, because it was 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 20 seconds, but I see that we are running out of time, so I will try to make a resume of my experience. Well, first of all, I should agree with Claudia. I feel a bit emotional to see again Alessandro, Luis, Claudia, Sheila, Angelo, Gianni, many people that I've met inside and outside ITL, but still around Budapest. So many good connections. Well, what can I say? Alessandro, ITL, Luis, for me were like a family. Because it was not only an internship for me, but it became my first professional experience. So it was a bit longer than the usual 3, 4, 5 months. And I'm grateful for this because Alessandro was the first entrepreneur that believed in me as a person, as a professional person. And I'm extremely thankful still today for this support that he gave me. And we worked on so many projects, from marketing, sales, business development. So as Angelo said, it was a mixture of everything. And this is, I think, the spirit of ITL. Be like a jolly joker, totally, in the country for the Italian businesses, and not only the Italian ones. And well, many projects, many ideas. It's good to see you guys still on the pitch like this with the same spirit. And as everyone said, still very good looking, not like me that I don't have hair anymore. And I wanna give the pitch to the others because we have only 11 minutes left. So to connect with the main topic of this session, I want to say something about what I've learned in ITL that I still keep inside myself. First of all, it was incredible to be working inside Alessandro's room because I was sitting every day next to him. So I felt like being in the control room. I could hear everything and all the speeches with other entrepreneurs, other clients. So for me, it was like full energy, and I was hearing a lot and absorbing the way he was communicating, because Alessandro is an incredible, classy business developer. He has a a savoir-faire, a charm that it's acknowledged by everyone in the community in Budapest, I think. And one thing that impressed me a lot by Alessandro, and this is very good for current trainees and past trainees and future trainees, is that I remember that sometimes we were, me and Alessandro, alone in the control room, and it was 6, after 6, everyone was leaving the office. We were only me and Alessandro, and I remember clearly that he was there replying one by one to every single mail he was receiving by request for traineeship, a request from clients. And this is something that I really keep in with myself, because if a managing director of a company can find every single day a spare time to reply to a 20 years old girl or boy and reply by every single mail, I think that each of us during the working time, the working day, can do the same. And Alessandro really gave me a big lesson. Thank you for this.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Enrico. And now let's welcome Mirko Podda, trainee in 2016. Now he's a security service sales representative at ABM. Please share with us all your experience.
It's not that such a big experience, so 5 minutes is gonna be enough probably. But yeah, first off, as everyone said, I'm very glad to be participating to this meeting. Welcome to my house. I am currently in Sardinia. Christmas time is already here. And yeah, ITL is a real family. I mean, I've been there only 2 months. I remember I was looking for an internship because I needed to find new motivation and change my job. Previously, I used to work for a European non-profit organization based in Brussels. I was pretty much involved in some of the European projects funded by European Commission. Viviana, you're working on multicultural environment, and I remember that part of my career very, very useful for you know, getting to know different cultures, managing projects from not only an organizational point of view, but also financially speaking, and talking to different people around Europe and third countries as well. So, but after that, I was looking for something different, and I'd like to mention Luis, not only for his nice, you know, phrases or quotes, but because really what he says is very meaningful to me. And I already had in mind that in my first 10 years of career experience, I needed to experience different things, right? To get to learn more as much as I could, and then specialize on something. So I moved from a no-profit to a consultancy company as ITL. It was very short time, but meaningful, 2 months. Very flexible environment, very, you know, heterogeneous. People, but I had the opportunity to work on different projects. So as also Claudia mentioned, moving from Economia.hu to ITL Real Estate, some marketing small projects. Probably they couldn't have the time to finalize with Luis, but it was very, very impressive, and I learned a lot from everyone. Nothing. So after that, you know, as I said, I moved from my previous job to Hungary. Just, you know, just resigning to move for an internship is not something that happens every day, but that was a step back to move forward again for me. And indeed, my actual goal was to go to a big company. And I was actually looking from my first day to move to IBM, which I've done. And now it's 4 years about that I'm in IBM. I spent 1.5 years in Budapest, lovely city, the most beautiful city I've ever lived. Then moved to Dublin, which I'm right now covering as Brunilda, if I mention your name properly, the position of the sales security consultant, and also is a sales position actually, but we like to call ourselves consultants because you know, to sell you need to be consultant first. And and nothing. Next step is gonna be moving back to Italy, and not only to my family house, but probably to Rome, to be more focused on specific clients. Sorry, my phone was ringing and Mac is always connected. And nothing, but taking everything in consideration, I don't think I could really move on if I didn't take that step back. But it's just, you know, to say that an internship might appear a step back sometimes, but it's really a real great way to start your career journey. So that's something, that's my takeaway. And you need to choose the right company. So whenever I have the opportunity, I like to spend this experience also with my colleagues or with any students in Cagliari, and not only, because I always recommend ITL. And I like to, you know, to still doing this if you're open to next, you know, young professionals. Thanks.
Yes,
Thanks,
we do. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you so much, Mirko. And now I would like to welcome Giacomo Romeo, trainee in 2017-2018. Now he is a data analyst in wealth management. And please, can you share with us your experience?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'll try to be very, very short because it's really late. Thank you for inviting me to this event. I'm really grateful to see again Alessandro, but also Claudia. I remember, I don't know many others, but still, it's great to be with you. And well, my experience, it was really interesting, I would say. I think I was one of the youngest trainee there, because I joined when I was just 20. And I remember that I was so scared the first, not just the first days, but the first months, because it was my first ever, you know, before, just to be nothing more. So it was really fantastic to find people who approach with me, not just like the last trainee, but as a real colleague. I think I learned so many things. I was in the real estate area, so it's a little bit connected with what I'm still doing now, because we are still talking about investments, and it was already my passion. So it was a really good starting point, because it's not easy to find someone who trusts you, who believes in you when you are 20 with no experience at all, and give you the opportunity to work next to professional people and doing your best. So yeah, it was my first step, and I would say the most important one in my still short career. But I have a really great memory about it. And the fun fact is that it was so great that after that experience, I went back to Italy to finish my university, and then I came back here in Budapest. So I'm still working in Budapest, because I found it really a great place to grow professionally for young people. So thank you, Alessandro. Thank you, everyone. And please, I don't want to continue this. It's very late. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Giacomo, but to everybody. So I'm sorry that we have to end this meeting quite soon. I just wanted to ask to anybody if there are last comments, or feel free to contact also Viviana. And for questions, you will receive by email the presentation with their contact details, and I will let Alessandro close the evening.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are so much, let's say, tight with time this evening. Viviana, you are the only one that I didn't have the pleasure to host here in ITL, but you did a different, let's say, route in your life, and thank you so much for your presentation and for sharing with us. For all the others, it has been more than a pleasure. It has been a really warm thank you, and for the amazing words that I heard. I think that probably I'm the most emotional in this moment. You made really my day. And it's good in a way that thanks to these, let's say, new small projects, we are back together, let's say, in a shell. And we will now find and try to find new initiatives to keep the momentum going and involve you and share with you, let's say, what we are going to do, and maybe to cross relations between all of you, because you know the world is a small place. You never know how things will cross in 10 years from now. But if we still keep, let's say, the relations, it will be absolutely fantastic, and I will be honored to follow also your developments and to be updated with what you do. So Sheila, Claudia, Luis, Ugo, that is not with us today, Federico, who did some of the training on the real estate and so on. A deep thanks also to all of you for the support, because I think that in a day like today, you see the results and the amazing comments that we got back from the experiences. Of course, until we will proceed in inventing the Budapest Business Party next edition, or the next edition of new projects, and believe me, we will, because creativity is always on top for us. We will always give, let's say, new pleasure and fun to the next ones to come, and the ones that are joining us. So guys, unfortunately, we have to close the evening. Thank you really from Luis, Irene, myself.
Yes.
The three together.
Thank you.
Bye.
And win the life.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Ciao.